A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us again on Almond Finance and Wealth Reports this week. As you know, we are source for latest happening information in the financial sector of the nation's economy. My name is Faith Uwode. On this edition of the program, we'll kick off by bringing you the exclusive interview I had with Mrs. Angela Ezechukwu, the president of Soroptimist International of Surulere. In focus will be the challenges of women in business. On Insurance 101 this week, last week we kick-started our special reports on passenger and passenger legal liability. This week we'll bring you a continuation of that report by focusing on passenger legal liability claims procedure. Plus, Soroptimist International is an organization of professional women that supports community-based projects benefiting women and girls globally. Recently, Soroptimist International of Surulere put together its 10th change of its signal and award ceremony at the Colonnade Hotel Ikoyi here in Lagos. Among the awardees this year were Professor Pat Utomi, Mrs. Cecilia Akwa Umoren, and my humble self, Faith Uwode. These are more awards we have for you on the lineup this week, so I urge you as always to sit back, relax, and spend this time with us. But all the details are coming to you after this break. Please stay with us.
On Almond Finance and Wealth Report, we ask the right people the right questions.
No Nigerian trusts the other, and they don't believe, the average Nigerian doesn't believe that the insurance company will pay the claim. They believe that the insurance company will not pay the claim. So when you pay the claim, they are quite pleasantly surprised.
A system that ensures that your naira will depreciate, that excess liquidity will prevail when you earn increasing dollars. It should be reversed.
The whole idea of insurance, as far as I'm concerned, is to spread the risk. That is the actual cost.
We highlight the right events. And the right music. Join your host, Faith Uwode, every week on this station. Almond Finance and Wealth Report, the right platform.
All right, welcome back. On the set of Almond today, I have the honor and privilege to be hosting the president of Soroptimist International Surulere, who was recently did her investiture, so to speak. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for joining me on the program.
Thank you very much, madam.
Okay, today we'll be looking at challenges of women in business. I know that in every society, women are always at the receiving end. What are the toughest challenges that professional women or even women in business face, in your opinion?
I think from your question, I can say that women face a lot of challenges, especially when it comes to gender equality, where we keep on fighting with men. Who will do this, who will do that, and all that. Women face, more important is that gender inequality, whereby the man, in our African world, in Nigeria precisely, we have what we say is man's world. So whatever you're doing, there must be critics on it, especially when you're doing some areas that has to do where that is reserved for men. And say, oh no, this area is for men. Why are you into it? I take 1 or 2 courses in the universities where you want to maybe study something like engineering. Everybody will say, wow, why are you studying engineering? That is a man's world, like architectural work and all that. They say, no, you can't go into such a course, that's a man's world and all that. So things like that always affect women. And most men still in African countries, even in the rural areas, they still believe that women should not go to school. That school is meant for men who are the breadwinners, who are this and that. Take an example for my own course, my own business, for instance. When I ventured into importation of doors, anybody I say, I'm importing doors now, I sell doors. I say, no. People will keep on asking me, why are you into doors? Doors are meant for, yes, doors are meant for men. No, you shouldn't be in doors. I say, security door, bulletproof door. I say, no. It's not meant for you. That is supposed to be meant. Why? What made you go into doors? I said, well, I have passion for building, and then I felt that doors are okay, that I can do it. And I'm doing very, very well in it. So that's one thing with our world. Whatever you're doing, as far as it's something like, take example of what Lagos State is doing now. They are trying to train women to drive these buses. The other day I was listening to radio. You have to see a lot of critics on that. People were criticizing, why should women be there? Who will cook in the house? How can they go back to their houses and all that? When I was listening to it, I said, wow, at least these people must have traveled abroad. They've seen women abroad do the same job and they do it very well. And I was so happy when people phone into the program and was saying, no, women can do it and they can do it better. Even men, some of our men are now coming up. They say women can do it and they know that they can do it better. And things like that. So I felt that we should come up. And I keep on encouraging women to come up. Whatever you have passion for. I remember one of our members that opened up a mechanic workshop.
Wow.
Even in the meeting, the day she said that she introduced herself as owner of one big mechanic workshop where they work on cars, maintain cars, and all. Everybody even in the meeting said, wow, yeah, that's wonderful. And all that. and she's doing very, very well in it and all that. So it has been like that all this while.
Okay, ma, let me start by asking you, what is the vision and mission of Sorority International?
Sorority International is a women club. It's a club for professional women. Professional women can be even a housewife. A housewife can be a professional woman. What I mean by that, that you're a housewife and you're doing your job very, very well. You are also a professional, even in that very field. You can be a member. Not necessarily when you are this, when you are a doctor, when you are maybe engineer, when you are this, no. Yes, sorority is what we stand for. We are there to help women to come up, to speak up in the society, to aid their views, to be somebody in the society. We try to educate women. By educating them, it will enable them, say, educate a woman and then educate a nation. Then we now try to empower them. When we speak of empowering, we try to sometimes we organize women, we give them soft loan, we train them by enabling them to do something and be somebody in the society. Like the widows, most times we organize things like that, bringing them up. When a woman is doing something, you notice that at least the family, there must be a food on the table and all that. So sorority's vision is for us to, how do we treat women? How do we make women's voice to be heard in the society? How do we place women in different governmental organizations, different companies? How do women come up like our own counterpart, the men? So that as we are living, we're able to say, this man maybe gain a living through what we are doing and all that.
Okay, now, as the president of Sorority International Studio, in your 2 years as president, what are those areas that will be your focus?
My focus for these 2 years is that, just like we launched on Sunday, we want to put up what we call Sorority's Charity House or Home. What will it contain? Formerly, we have this Sorority Charity House in 62 Akerele. For some time, what we do there, what is old to you can be new to me. We encourage people, our members, churches, the churches will announce it. Whatever you don't use in your house, please bring it to us. We clean it up. If it is closed, we wash it up. We arrange it. And then people will announce it that we have new things, new material, this and that. People will come. They see them coming every other time to come and pick things they don't have in their houses, like clothes and all that. We keep on we've been doing that for years. Until last year, because we keep on taxing ourselves, we couldn't pay again. And then the landlord keep on increasing the rent. As I say, we find out we cannot continue like that. So when I now took over, we now had it as a discussion that what do we do? Let us see if we can get a house, a land, build a house, so that it will be permanent, where the ground floor of it will be the same thing we were doing before, trying to sell those old things and all that. And again, we normally buy something like materials, like sewing materials, bead making and all that. We give it to all this at Ondolu School for Physically and Mentally Challenged, dancing, drum, and then the other school as well, Pacheli and all. They produce those things. When they produce it, they'll bring it back to us. We sell them for them in that very shop and a good price. And whatever we make out of it, we give it back to them for them to continue. So all of them now stop because we couldn't continue. So in this very building now, we are trying to see what we can do. What do we do? That the dance floor will be one part of it will be for the charity things. As I said earlier, what is owed to you can be new to me. Then the second part will be to sell those things produced by the Atondolu children and the Down syndrome and what have you. And then the upper part, we have to give up the upper part for the training centers. Formerly, we do the training, just as I said before. In schools, we organize schools. Now we have a place where we'll organize schools maybe once in a month or twice in a month. Sometimes we do screening for market women. We've done it to Baja, market women and some other market people. We can invite them there. We partner with some health institutes. They will come up with the medical doctors, and some of our members are medical doctors and nurses, so they can come up. We do what we call screening, all the screening that a woman has to undergo. So we do those screening for the women, and then at the end of it, we'll be able to give them some drugs. That's what we'll be doing at the upper part. And then at the same side of the upper part, we try to have safe house, which we are having before. That safe house, some women that are maybe battered, displaced, sent out of their houses for at least a night or two. When we see such people, they call. We tell them to come over. We'll house them for a day or two and then help them to see how they can move forward. Either go back to their husband's house or see how they can just move on in life. And then rape children and all that. We pick them up. At least help them by sending our counselors to talk to them, help them to come up and all that. And then they will be able to go back to their houses.
Okay, now finally, for those who are watching and they want to support the project, how do they get in touch with Sorority International?
They can get in touch through your program. That's number one. They can get in touch by paying into our Access Bank account. That's number two. They can get in touch by calling us. Then they can also phone in to call us or check our website. We have our website. We have a lot of things we have done in our website. Reach us through our email as well, and then call the numbers we have. Like my own number, they can call to maybe make inquiries. How do we come in? Like the other day we spoke in radio. A lady called in and said she's an architect, that she'll be the one that will do all the drawings. The other person called and said he's an engineer, that he'll do all the engineering work for us. And the other person said that he will give us the door that we're going to use in the house. Somebody said all the electrical things. And once we get the land, that we should contact him. And then things like that. People are coming up. And we believe before 1 year, that house will be standing with the help of Nigerians. All we have to promise them is that by our honor as ladies, they will know how their pennies are being spent.
Passenger legal liability claims procedure. In the event of a loss under the passenger legal liability insurance, the claims procedure as follows. Immediate notification to the airline, who in turn will inform the insurance company. Obtain the passenger manifest together with the nationalities of the passengers. specimen air tickets, passenger flight coupons, obtain statements of claim, obtain names of injured passengers, obtain medical reports in case of bodily injuries or hospitals were treated, obtain copies of any correspondence with the next of kin or passenger legal representative, get death or burial certificate. Limit of liability is governed by applicable local or international laws or convention. Insurers in handling liability claims employ the services of experts to assist. They may include external solicitors, surveyors, engineers, medical personnel, etc. Passenger liability claims falls under two main categories. One is claims for death, injury, loss, or damage to property or delay arising out of carriage under a contract of carriage with a commercial carrier. Claiming arising from death, etc., occurring on flights where passengers are guests in a private aircraft or there is no contract of carriage. Further subdivision on the carriage under contract will include carriage subject to international laws, carriage subject to statutory conditions imposed by a state, example, NCAA Act 2006, carriage subject to IATA conditions of carriage, carriage subject to such conditions as the operator may impose. Passengers flying on an international flight enters into a contract of carriage governed by international laws and conventions. Claims under a contract of carriage forms the bulk of the passenger liability claims.
All right, welcome back. Moving on, we bring you highlights of the 10th change of the signal and award ceremony of Soroptimist International of Surulere that took place recently at the Colonnade Hotel Ikoyi here in Lagos. The very colorful event attracted dignitaries from all walks of life. Among the awardees this year were Professor Pat Utomi, Engineer Dr. Mrs. Atoke Ugubanwo, Mrs. Cecilia Akwa Umoren, and a host of others. In his welcome address, the chairman of the occasion, Barrister Pascal G. Madu, stated that the success of women is the collective success of any society.
Soroptimist is a global women's organization whose members volunteer to improve the lives of women and girls through programs leading to social and economic empowerment. More than 80,000 Soroptimists in about 130 countries and territories support community-based and global projects benefiting women and girls. The organization is particularly concerned with providing women and girls access to education, as this is the most effective path to self-determination. Soroptimist International of Surulere recently held its 10th change of insignia and award ceremony, as well as a 100 million naira fundraising for their charity house project at the Colonnade Hotel Ikoyi. The high-profile event, which was well attended by dignitaries from all walks of life, was chaired by Barrister Pascal G.U. Madu, Principal Partner G.U. Madu and Associates. In his welcome remarks, Barrister Madu stated that the success of women is the collective success of any society.
You know that the woman or the girl child is the basis of the survival of society. The woman is the basis of the survival of the family. And if women have succeeded in so many areas where men have failed, it shows that we should lend support, because their success means the collective success of all. So once again, I want to congratulate each and every one of you, and I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to share this afternoon with you. telling you once more that anytime, any day you call on us, with these philosophies of yours etched in gold, we will always beckon, or we will always answer to your calls.
The name Suroptimist means best for women, and that is what the organization strives to achieve. Suroptimists are women at their best, working to help other women to be their best. On hand to install Mrs. Angela Ezechukwu as the 10th president of Suroptimist International of Surulere was the national president of Suroptimist International of Nigeria, Barrister Olufumilola Buraimo Ademuyewu. In addition to providing women and girls with access to education, members volunteer on projects such as providing mammograms to low-income women, sponsoring workshops for teenage girls, and mentoring women in domestic violence shelters. The president, Mrs. Ezechukwu, in her acceptance speech, said that the focus of her tenure will be the completion of the charity house. Suroptimist participates in organization-wide programs which includes the Suroptimist Live Your Dream Awards, the Suroptimist Workplace Campaign to End Domestic Violence, and the Suroptimist Violet Richardson Award. Among the awardees this year were Professor Pat Utomi, Mrs. Abisola Olufumilayo Oduyale, Mrs. Cecilia Akwa Umoren, Miss Faith Owode, Engineer Atoke Ogumbayo, and a host of others. The first Suroptimist Club was formed in 1921 in Oakland, California, and quickly followed by other clubs in North America. Since 1928, clubs throughout the Suroptimist world have joined together for a convention. Suroptimist views are highly respected globally. Suroptimist International holds a seat at the UN General Assembly in New York, making valuable contributions to the advancement of women globally.
All right, that's our time on this edition of the program. I do hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I always say here, for comments, questions, observations, do feel free to get in touch with us on 017763981 or 08033357879. Or better still, send us an email, almond4xx@yahoo.com or almondproduction@gmail.com. You can also visit us on our website, www.almondreports.com. Like us on our Facebook page, Almond Finance and Wealth Reports, and view past episodes of this program from our YouTube channel, Almond Reports TV. Join us every Wednesday by 9:45 a.m. live on Niger FM 102.7 if you can for our Pidgin English program called Waiting Insurance They Do Save. And also do not forget to keep your diary open for the 2014 Insurance Consumers Forum coming up on the 29th of October in the Rapid Hall Lagoon Restaurant, Victoria Island here in Lagos. We'll be commencing at 10 a.m. My name is Faith Owode. Until same time, same station next week, when we come your way with a fresh package of this program from all of us here, is goodbye.